down time again. I don't think we're going to beat the sun.
Hey, Ronnie here from Four Wheeling in Western Australia. Welcome to the Outback. We just pulled over on the roadside here just to check out the wildflowers which are blooming. This is just a short, long weekender. It's a Saturday. We all managed to get the day off work for Monday. So we're out here for 3 days, 2 nights. And our first stop is Ninghan Station, which is just 30 k's up the road from where we are, about 400 k's from Perth.
Joining us on this 3-day trip, we have Andrew from Fantastic Adventures, that's with a PH, and we have Wayne and Sarah in the Land Cruiser, which many of our regular viewers will recognise.
Now arrived at Ninghan Station. Just entered, and check out that. We are surrounded by wildflowers, and these come very early this year. And I'm assuming that around the world most people sort of picture the Australian outback as, you know, a barren, dry, harsh environment. Well, it pretty much is, but for a brief period every year, from about July till about September, sometimes into October, depending on the rains, we get these wildflowers. And it just turns the landscape into just something completely different.
Apart from wildflowers, Ninghan Station is also home to a lot of cultural significance to the Badimaya people, who are the traditional Aboriginal owners of this land which Ninghan Pastoral Station sits on. So along the way, I'm going to share with you some information that I've got from locals and that I've managed to dig up in some research.
Rightio, we've arrived at the homestead. The owner is not here, he is out at the moment. We picked up his newspaper from the nearest town. They asked us to drop it in. So we'll just have to come down and see him later because we're meant to pay to be here. Well, actually we're going to climb Mount Singleton first and then have a look around. We've all retreated to our vehicle because there's a retired farm dog. It just keeps nipping at us. So beware of ex-farm dogs on these kind of properties.
We've now started our ascent to Mount Singleton. You can drive the entire way up. It's about 600 metres above sea level, and it's the highest peak in this region.
We have now arrived at the top of Mount Singleton. There's the TV station towers behind me. I'm guessing a TV station for the country television. And we're now going to take a short walk through the bush there and go out to the edge and check out the views of Mount Singleton.
But before we head out there, we're going to have some lunch.
Now, you probably would have seen one of my tip videos about food on the go and stuff like that. I'll just give you an example. Just checking out Andrew making his sandwich here.
G'day guys.
That's another cool pre-sliced way to...
Well, yeah, get everything organised the night before. Set up your ham, your lettuce, cut it, washed, and tomatoes. I cut my tomatoes on the go. But yeah,
some chilies too.
some chilies, yeah, for dinner later on. But yeah, well, lunch on the go. You need to be organised. You know, you don't want to be out in the bush and trying to carve a turkey or anything. So
Yeah, that's it. That's
be
it.
organised.
And then if you're more than one person, you can cook up some mince and what's that, rice?
Yeah, it's my famous dish.
Oh, that's yummy. It looks yummy.
It's got a bit of chili in there, and curry, and tomato.
Wayne's special.
Wayne's special, eh? Check out this view. This is so much greener than what it normally is, and if I have some footage of it, I'll put it on the screen now so you can see the difference. It's amazing what a bit of rain does to the outback.
A quick side note, Mount Singleton is known as Ninghan to the Batty people. We then headed back down to the homestead to pay our fees, and the owner was kind enough to show us his gold collection.
So we just spoke to the owner, Don, and I've spoken to him a couple of times before. He's not too keen to be on camera, but he was okay with me getting a shot of the gold. I don't want to take too many shots. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see the gold. Here's some relics that are in his front yard. The old homestead, I guess. So we're on the way to camp, and this happens. Now I stayed on the high side because I was avoiding these other two ruts over here, and you can see here it just gave way, pulled me in. I might have to just reverse all the way up here.
Yeah, but I think there's once you're in there, that's it, eh?
Yeah, I know, it's either the whole way forward or the whole way back. Oh, I'll have to go forward the whole way.
And it just goes to show sometimes you're better off sticking with the actual wheel ruts that are already there rather than driving over the top of them, especially when it's wet. In the distance you can see Wardega Rock. The Batty people used to gather here for ceremonial activities. And these were times when people made the transition from childhood into adulthood. So men and women living around in Ninghan area all gathered at Wardega Rock for these kind of events.
Here we are at Wardega Hill, and we are on Aboriginal lands, as you would have seen as we went through that gate. As far as I'm concerned, the entire Australia is Aboriginal land. I have a new swag. I got sick of repairing my Darchi swag. It broke for the 7th time on those poles. So I got this black wolf, what's it called? Ryebuck. So I'll set that up in a minute. Over here we got the RV3, and over here Andrew's got the King's rooftop tent. What I'm going to do is, once we're all set up and it's still daylight, I'll run through briefly on the camp and we'll go through Andrew's setup, because he's got a lot of cool stuff there, and he's done a few things since the modified video which you may or may not have seen. There you have it, that's the new tent. And what's the first thing that jumps to mind? Wouldn't be to sit in the Opera House, would it? I didn't see it to start with, but these guys did. The reason why I went for this one in particular, just put my beer down, was because of how thick these poles are. These are incredibly thick. And when I actually put that sleeve it into the hole where it's supposed to go and then bow it through there, I was actually really scared to break it because of the previous swag I had, because there's no way they would have been able to hold up to that. So yeah, really good construction if you can bend them that tight. So fingers crossed they actually hold. It's the first night I'm going to be sleeping in it. You can enter it from here. You can open that up with a zip from the inside, I think. Zip on the outside and the inside. And you can get in from both sides. And here's my new sleeping bag, which I got on special. Love getting specials at the camping stores. I haven't pegged it down or anything, it's freestanding. Another bonus. Another thing I like about it. I can't say I'm happy with it yet. I'm happy with it now. I haven't tried sleeping in it, if you get what I'm saying. So I'm not going to do a review on it until I've had this one for well and truly a good 6 months or a year, giving it a good go. There you go, mate. And caught you at a busy time?
No, not really. Preparing dinner, getting ready.
What are you having?
I've got with burgers and hash browns.
Burgers and hash browns. Sounds good to me.
Easy dinner.
Cooking on, what's this thing?
It's just it's just a barbecue that I purchased a while back. It's nice and easy, it's compact.
Oh, gas made barbecue.
Yeah, gas made barbecue. Nice. And it was cheap, so I bought it. The Weber was a bit too expensive at the time.
Yeah.
It's lasted me.
Yeah, I love the Weber, but couldn't fit it this time.
But yeah.
Can't have roast every time.
No, you can't. So yeah, I'm sleeping up in the Adventure King's tent. Rooftop tent there. It's a 2-person one.
How long you had that for?
I've had it for a year and a half now. It's done me well. There are windows and stuff, but I just leave them closed. It's no point.
Yeah.
It's just no point. But you can have a look inside if you want. The light's on and everything.
Oh, it's on? Oh yeah, cool.
You can unzip from the top if you want. So a nice dense mattress with a sleeping bag and
Oh, heaps of room.
heaps of room, yeah.
Awesome. So you mentioned you also have a swag.
Yeah, I did have a swag, yeah.
Oh, you did? You sold it?
Oh no, I still got it. It's at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're saying you did as in
Oh
this,
yeah,
this
I
beats
prefer to
anything?
use this. Definitely, I prefer to use the rooftop tent. Just
Okay.
because the swag, every time we go out anywhere, you got muddy shoes, you got dirty shoes, and you walk in or you get into the swag, no matter whether it's you or the missus, and
Yeah.
sand gets in, and it's not comfortable sleeping on sand. You could feel it's like sandpaper on your back.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is true. You gotta do a lot of effort to get around it, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean. You go up the ladder, half of your dirt comes off from
Yeah,
your feet.
exactly. And then we just tie the shoes into a plastic bag up top.
Cool. What does it weigh?
It's 80 kilos, so the Adventure Kings is a bit of a heavy one compared to the others. So all the other ones are maybe about 50 to 60 kilos, but the Adventure Kings is about 80 kilos.
80 kilos. Okay. And the awning, what's that?
The awning is a new awning from since the last video, but this is a Camp Tracks awning which I've just re-customized to put all the legs. Basically every single one of these legs are now on hinges, so I kind of try to copy the ostrich.
Oh,
So
okay.
they hide away. So you normally
Just show us again.
So you can
So you can just pull it.
fold
Yeah.
this back up.
Okay. So what was it before you had to connect?
So it used to be this the other way around. So this pole bit here goes into the hole here,
Yeah.
and it goes through the pole, and then you got to peg it down. So
Okay.
now that I've done it this way, it's just on a hinge. So put a bolt through it, and it just swivels now. Makes it easier for
okay.
me.
Bit of DIY.
Yeah, a little bit of a DIY, but it works. So,
Nice.
And then
Get your lights here.
yeah, so I've installed extra lights in the car again, as you can tell.
There we go.
And it comes on a dimmer now too.
So tonight we are going to be cooking on the Snow Peak fire pit, and I'll do my best to remember to do a review on this tomorrow morning, because a lot of people have asked me about this. And the main reason why we use this is because we don't like using ground fires if we're going to cook on it, because we don't know what might be in it from other people, because people throw cans and plastic, all kind of rubbish in fires, and you don't want to cook over that. So that's why we bring the fire pit, and then once it's done in the morning, we empty the embers or the ash, because this burns out, empty it into the other pits that are around. And what we normally do is, even though we can live off the land and use all these sticks we find out here from dead trees lying around, fallen branches, we do still bring some hardwood, this being jarrah, and it's great for a long slow burn and good for cooking, gives a good flavour to meals too, I reckon. Yeah, so that is pretty much where we're going to be cooking our food tonight. Welcome to day 2 of our outback trip during wildflower season. I had a pretty good sleep last night, but it poured down with rain pretty hard. Right now I'm climbing Wardega Hill, and behind us there you can see the camp, and hopefully the sun penetrates those clouds and dries our tents and swags a bit, because it's kind of disappeared again. I'm up here this morning just for, well, the awesome view and to get some cool shots with my telephoto lens. Hopefully the sun will come out and dry our gear up, because we've got a lot on our plate today. Well, I've picked up my rock, and what am I going to do with this rock? It's a bit of a tradition out here on these hills. When you're up here, you add your own rock to the pile, and we seem to find these everywhere in all these rocky outcrops out here. Now I'll give you my first impressions on my rye buck swag from Black Wolf. This is one I purchased myself, I wasn't given this. So first impressions, well, I love it. One night's sleep in it, great night's sleep, good comfort. It's a 70mm mattress, it's a really good comfort. And the thing that I like most about this is the amount of room I have now. I can sit up in it and put my boots on, and that is a massive bonus. Also, you don't feel like you're in a canvas coffin as much because you have the extra space in it, and the temperature in it is actually pretty good. I had a really comfortable sleep. I don't like something that traps too much heat because I get all muggy and sweaty. I kind of like just getting a little bit of a cold draft in, and I think this vent up here helped a lot with that. And then the fact that this doesn't zip all the way down, it only zips here, so this is kind of open. But surprisingly, it was really windy last night. No wind actually came under. Because I didn't peg it down to the ground, I did feel it lift like this a little bit last night, and it got really windy. Yeah, so I'm quite impressed with this tent.
It was then time to leave Wardega Rock and head towards Lake Moore, which is a spectacular lookout overlooking a dry salt lake. Thanks for watching part 1, and please do subscribe if you haven't already. Coming up in part 2, we continue our weekender out in the outback, and we actually get quite lost, so stay tuned for that one. I'll see you then.